Okay, look, y'all just don't understand how I have been waiting for this interview like Christmas. I'm gonna get right to it. I'm a full stand, and not because Chanel is necessarily a celebrity. She is all of that and more in her own right. But when I see a survivor, when I see a groundbreaker, when I see somebody that is just earth shattering, taking boundaries and being like them things don't exist, I have to be in a space with them. And I wanted to be a little selfish at first and keep it for myself. And then I said, wait a minute, we got whole podcasts. So we're gonna let Chanel share herself with the people. But Miss Chanel Holland is the founder and owner, entrepreneur of Taste of Love Catering. And I feel like catering puts like it minimizes it because we know that thing is, and we'll get into that. But Chanel is a native of Maryland. Where you from originally, Chanel?
Severn. I'm
Severn,
from
native of
Severn.
Severn,
Mm-hmm.
Maryland.
Yep. Yep.
She's all things woman, an around the way girl, just taking her evolution and running with it. Chanel, thank you for stepping into the space on the God Hour. I appreciate
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm so excited. When you extended the invitation, I knew it was coming, and that's not me just saying it. I knew it was coming because when you first posted, for some time now, people been trying to get me to tell my story.
it.
But I feed off the energy,
Hmm.
and some people just want to hear the story so they can get the tea. You know what I mean? They really don't want to. They really don't care.
You better
They just
say
want
it.
to. They just want to hear it so they can spread it.
That's right.
So when I saw that you posted you were starting the Goddess Hour, God said it's time. I didn't know when,
Uh,
and no lie, literally a week later, you sent me the message, and I said, "Okay, God, confirmation. Let's go.
Come on
Let's
now.
go."
And I'll tell you, let me tell you, because I've been wanting to talk to you for so long. And when I was doing the podcast, the pussyography, I had so many people that I wanted to invite in that space. And I was like, no, this ain't the thing, no. And even for me, I realized with that podcast, like I know what I started it out as. It was just me going through my evolution as a woman,
Mhm.
trying to understand or share, things I had discovered as related to just intimacy and sexuality. But I'm like, that's not what you talk about, That's not what you talk about. And as someone who is, I'm an outburst of energy, but I'm private. But I
Mhm.
also know that there are things that I've experienced that just may make the way a little easier for somebody else. And those are the
Absolutely.
women that I want to embrace. So again, look, there's no coincidence in everything, in anything.
Right.
I do not
Absolutely.
believe in
Absolutely.
coincidence. And I do not take this lightly at all. So I will say thank you, thank you, thank you again and again for stepping up into the space with me. So look, we're gonna start off with a little bit of fun, right?
Okay.
So I normally do these icebreaker questions with like cards, and then I
Okay.
saw I was watching Larry King's episode with Cat Williams recently, and it was so funny doing the promo when you were sharing it. He was like, "Look, this ain't no Shannon show. This ain't Club Shay Shay and no Cat Williams." So I was like, "Would you look at this? I'm taking them icebreakers." So shout out to Larry King for these
Right.
icebreakers. So answer.
Okay.
I mean, the first thing that comes to your mind, um, and then you can say skip two. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's go. Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
It depends. Are you talking about male or female?
I mean,
Female. Female has always been MJB.
okay,
Hands
yes.
down, always been MJB since I was a little girl. I've always loved her. And then, believe it or not, male, I would say Snoop Dogg.
Okay, really?
As a
Okay,
young
let's talk
girl,
about that.
it was crazy because I don't know if it was just the way he spoke or back in when I was into Snoop, my grandmother, she had passed away, so
Mm,
it was gin and juice real heavy,
come on.
and yeah, so and that she started drinking gin right before she got sick and passed away, so that was the connection there, and I just really
Wow.
started listening to his music. I'm like, okay, let's get it. So yeah, it's always the MJB and
Okay,
Snoop.
I'm with that. I like those two. Okay. All right. Person you trade places with for a day.
Hmm, I would say Michelle Obama.
Okay. Okay.
Michelle Obama.
You might come out of that day windmilling because I know Michelle wanted to. You might come out that
Yes,
joint swinging at the end of
yes.
the day.
When I tell you, I admire her strength and her poise.
Yes,
When her
ma'am.
husband was in that office, she carried it. She let them know, I am her and he is him, and we are here together, baby. Don't play with us.
Come on
Don't play
now.
with
Yes,
us.
she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Okay. Guilty pleasure.
Hmm.
Whatever you're comfy with sharing.
Let's skip that one.
All right now. That's some good. That's some good stuff. Now, come on. Okay. Biggest risk you've ever took.
Hmm. Dealing with a thug.
Girl, look, I'm ready to take my earrings off on that one. Okay.
Dealing with a thug.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Best compliment you've ever gotten.
I'm strong.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm strong.
Worst piece of advice you ever got.
You should get a job.
Hmm. Come on now.
You should get a job.
Come on now. Okay. Who
Mm-hmm.
would you like to be stranded on a desert island with? And it doesn't have to be a celebrity, could be anyone.
On a desert island. Huh. People have been giving weird energy. I can't deal with people here lately,
Come
but
on now.
it would have to be my daughter.
Okay.
It would have
Okay.
to be my daughter because she's the only one that I could actually deal with
Mm,
24/7, 365 because I don't have a choice. So
come
I
on
would have
now.
to say her.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what Kat said, and I was like, "No, that was creative." He was like, "A good swimmer." Say, all right.
You better come on now. That
Come on.
makes sense because guess what? This is the can't swim.
At all, like, let me get up on your back. We're gonna have to figure this out. Don't leave me.
Carry me.
I'm getting on your back. Like,
Yes.
okay. Tell us something that we don't know about you.
Hmm. That's a good question because I've been very transparent with a lot. Um. So,
Hmm.
that's
Right.
a good one.
I don't even have an answer for that because I was when I was as I was writing them down, I'm like, okay, how would I answer? And I got to that one and I was like, I
Hmm.
could probably tell people something that they may not believe about me, but I think they
Right.
pretty much know everything.
Exactly. I can't think of anything.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
And last one, if you could choose any superpower, what would it be?
To mend broken hearts.
Mm, girl, you better go ahead.
Yep.
You go ahead. Tell me about that one. Why that one?
Because I know how it feels
Mm,
when you experience a broken heart in a personal relationship, in a business relationship. That hurts. And
hmm
the healing process sometimes takes forever and sometimes it does not heal. So you're going through different chapters of your life carrying that hurt.
hmm.
So you don't have the ability to reach your full potential because you're still carrying on with that baggage. So yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
can get jiggy with that. I can. I can. Alrighty, Miss Chanel. So introduce us in your own words. Who is Chanel today?
Today Chanel is a resilient, hardworking, loving, and supportive woman, mother, daughter, sister, and friend.
Mm,
That's me.
and brave as a you know what. My God, you are, oh my goodness, you are so
Thank
brave.
you. Thank
You are so
you. Thank
brave.
you.
Is that a word that would have been familiar to you? That, let's extract the headlines and what people think they know. But let's say 10 years ago, with all of the words that you described and even the one that I tossed up in there, what did you see yourself as in those spaces as that person 10 years ago?
Nope. And it's funny, 10 years ago was when I started to fall down the rabbit hole.
Mm,
That's when, unbeknownst to me, that chapter, which caused me to visit that dreadful place, started
mhm,
10 years ago.
mhm.
So yeah, I would have never thought in a million years.
Yeah,
Um, never thought.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's
What?
it's it's just wow.
Go ahead. And I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
If so, compared to how you know, and that's the thing. You know, the court of public opinion is so nasty, and I think what people don't understand, before you see me, I see me first. Um, in the 10 years, as you've grown, as Chanel has evolved, as you've stepped into arenas that you just never saw for yourself, how do you keep the volume down on who people call you or who they would like to believe you to be?
You know what has kept me grounded and focused is the promise that God made to me.
Mm,
God told me who I was.
mhm.
So what anybody else has to say about me does not matter to me. It just took Chanel time to figure out who Chanel was.
That's
You
right.
know, he's always told me, you are a queen. You know, you are meant to soar. Like you don't belong in this position. You don't belong in this space. But I didn't feel like I was worthy or I was deserving of certain things. You know,
That's right.
so I've always known that I was destined for bigger and greater things. But I just didn't feel as though I deserved it. You know, I was
Mm,
worthy of it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it was the past 10 years has been very eye opening, enlightening. Hasn't been easy. You know, it's been a journey. I've experienced losses in relations to relationships.
Mhm.
And that was the biggest, um, I would say, stumble or obstacle I had to deal with and overcome.
Yeah.
You know, because in your mind you think, oh, these people will be here forever. You know, they'll always be around. But the reality is some people are only here for a season.
That's right.
And you know, people say that all the time. You know, some people are here for a season for a reason, but you don't fully understand that until you experience it.
Hmm.
You know, and then
Did you
sometimes you try
notice as you started to see yourself,
to.
even in the harshest ways, did you notice the parallel of seeing who you were and then seeing how others were, and then the trickle off? Tell me about that.
So I realized that I was broken. I was broken and I was really dealing with a lot of self esteem issues that I didn't fully understand or realize until I started to take a step back and look at the people that I had surrounding me.
Mm,
Um, and I thought that they were surrounding me because they genuinely love me, you know, but they saw the qualities that I possess. So they wanted to gravitate towards that, you know what I mean?
mhm.
And in their minds, they may think that they were using me, but you can't use a person with a big heart.
Come
You
on.
can't use a person with a good heart because I'm genuinely giving. I'm not expecting anything in return.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? So once I realized that I was surrounded by a bunch of leeches. That's when a light bulb went off and said,
Yeah.
okay, it's time to sit back and reevaluate some things. You know, Chanel, what's really going on with you? And the reality was, I loved codependent relationships.
Say it.
I love codependent relationships. I loved being attached to people that I felt as though needed me, you
Hmm.
know, because I felt like, okay, my mission was complete. You know, you needed me and I was able to, you know, help you when you needed me. So I'm good. But I didn't realize I was draining myself. I'm filling your cup, but you're not refilling mine, and
There
I'm
you
left
go.
empty.
That's right.
You
People,
know.
people, the art of reciprocity is
Mhm.
dead. Like you said, we givers attract takers, and then you kind of realize, you know what, I'm in the position. I got a big heart, and these are people that I love. And even if they can't give it back in this way, I'm
Mhm.
trusting that they're going to pour it out. But it never turns out to be that. It
Mhm.
never turns out to be that at all.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Chanel, you've been faced with tragedy head on in ways that would have made most people really lose or question their ability to stay sane, or to absolutely say peace out to sanity. Like, I just can't wrap my head around it. And you've been judged through your loss and through many obstacles. What has the weight of judgment felt like for you in your quiet moments? Even not when you stand in motion, not when you, how
Mhm.
do you balance, how do you keep that weight from crushing you? Because the judgment does not stop.
You ain't never lied. So let me speak on when my husband passed.
Mm-hmm.
So, we were the new age Bonnie and Clyde. Like, we had, being totally transparent, we had the most toxic relationship ever.
Hmm.
But it was good to me. It was good to him, but it was toxic. Let's just call it what it was.
Okay,
You
now.
know, so we went through some things. Infidelity, you know what I mean, drug addiction, incarceration,
Mm-hmm.
physical, like anything that you can think of, we went through that. But through and through, I stood firm in having my husband's back. But this particular day, I'll never ever forget. Um, he called me at work, and he was high out his mind to the
Mm-hmm.
point I could barely understand anything he was saying. And I told him, I said, you know what, enough is enough. It's time for you to go. You need to go get yourself together. We've been through this for years. Like, I've had enough. Mind you, it was 2 weeks prior to my 30th birthday, and
Wow.
I refused to start chapter 30 with the same nonsense from the previous years. So I told him enough is enough. So when I got home, he was still there, um, high still, and he's like, "Can I talk to you? Let me be your Christmas present." And I'm like, "I'm over there, nigga. You be my like what? No,
Yeah.
I need for you to go. Like, okay, maybe if you go to rehab or something, you get yourself together, maybe we can work this out. But you being my
Mm-hmm.
Christmas present, no, it's not. It's not a pretty bow wrapped on you right now.
Right.
No. So, I left out the house that day, and I went to Walmart just to give myself some time. Hopefully, he'll be gone. I got back. He was gone. I went upstairs, went to bed. He came in the room and he said, so we're over, we're done. I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, but in my heart, I'm like, no, he probably be back in a couple months
Right.
or so.
Right.
But right now, I need a break. I need some time because this is too much. He left. The next morning, I get up like I normally do, getting my clothes and stuff, ready to go downstairs in the basement to get my clothes out the dryer. So as I'm walking in my living room, I seen, stuff that he would have normally took with him was still in the house. And then went in the kitchen and I saw a half a pint of Jose Cuervo gone. So I'm like, oh Lord, this ninja out in the street, high,
Mm-hmm.
drunk, doing God knows what. I'm like, whatever. I don't have the energy to give this right now. Let me go ahead and get myself together, go to work. As I'm walking downstairs in the basement, I could see the couch and I saw his cell phone. One thing for certain, two things for sure. He ain't leaving that cell phone because he don't want to get caught up in any dirt that he got going on. So
Exactly.
he's gonna take that
Exactly.
cell phone with him. So I'm like, he gotta still be in this house somewhere. As I'm walking down the steps, I seen him. It looked like he was just standing, you know, standing up sleep. I'm like, oh God. He's standing up in the middle of the floor, drunk and high, and nodded out. So I'm calling his name, and he's not moving. So I'm like, what's going on? And something told me to look up. And as
Jesus.
I looked up, I saw at the time we had a pit bull. I saw he used her leash. I'm like, hell no. I'm thinking I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
So I run back upstairs and I'm standing in the kitchen. I'm like, nah, ain't no way. Ain't no way. So I go back downstairs and as I walk towards the front of him, that's when I seen, he had hung himself. So as I'm trying to process this, and I'm like, oh my God, what could I have done differently to change
Mm.
these events? And as I'm trying to process this loss, you're hearing, oh, he did it because that night he came and told me he caught her cheating. Oh, he did it because she was messing with this one. Oh, because she was messing with that one. Oh, it was like, it was because of me. He did it because of me, and all the blame was being placed on me. It was
Mm.
my fault that he decided to take his life. And that was hard. That was hard. But I had to remember now, being totally transparent when it comes to infidelity, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, throughout my marriage, yes, I did. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
did, and he did too. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not gonna point the fingers and make it seem like he was the pillar, of what a husband was supposed to be. Let's call it what it is. I've always been upfront and honest, but we're not gonna say that. Oh, I was such a bad wife that I drove him to commit suicide.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying? So even in the midst of my infidelity, I still did what I was supposed to do as a wife. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Whenever he went to prison, I was there accepting those phone calls, on those visits, sending that money.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever, he did a stint in rehab, I was the one. It was me. So
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what anybody had to say about what Chanel did in her bed, Chanel did what she was supposed to do as a wife and taking care of her husband.
That's
So
right.
I had to remember that. You know what I mean? I remember that, and I remember I was his wife in every sense of the word. So people can say what they want to say about me. I don't care because I did what I was supposed to do. Don't nobody know the burden that I carried. Having to wake up in my car missing. Thinking that I'm going to pay a bill and my money missing. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know the burdens that I carry. So if you want to point the finger at me and say that I was the reason, you go right ahead because I'm walking in my truth. I
That's
know
right.
what I did and what I did not do. So I had to remember that.
Yeah.
I had to remember who I was. And with that, what they said didn't matter to me.
That's right.
It
So
didn't matter to
I
me.
don't think people, well, and I won't say people, but it's cancerous, especially in our community, in the Black community and Black families. It is so much easier to place blame than it is to stand with truth. Like, look, this is what occurred. We
Hmm.
don't know. You know what I mean? No one knew him as intimately as you did. No one knew that. And even with the experiences I did not know your husband, and my heart, I mean, it goes out to you to this day because while I haven't experienced suicide as it relates to a lover, I experienced it with, my best friend, my aunt. And the guilt that you already have, it's like you hear these things. Do you know how many times you go over in your own head? Like you said, what did I say something wrong in that moment? Could I have done something differently before you just really own, you know what? They were sick. And I'm going to
Exactly.
sit and make peace with that. But when you're surrounded, you see these faces who are supposed to be your safe people,
Hmm.
creating safe spaces for you. And they're the ones that carry the bones to you. I know you
Absolutely.
can, I offer you something to eat and you know such and such said. And it's like, why would you want me to know that? So
Why
even in
you
the
want to
midst
hurt
of
me?
like seeing your strength, Chanel, and being like, no, I'm gonna stand in this truth. Like we weren't perfect, but I know what it was. The fog, in the days after, from planning arrangements and having to receive people that don't genuinely fuck with you.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
how? like beyond the realization of, I look, I know the truth, your day to day, how did that change for you? Like just your emotion, how did that like how did that?
One thing I can say during that time, my I still call her my stepmother to this day, but my father's ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
she was there. She was my rock.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin, she was there. It was like they were my armor bearers. Like, nope, we're keeping this away from her. No, we're not doing this. But as I'm going through the process, um, and the gravesite, at the gravesite, when they're lowering his body in the ground, his brother, as we're walking away, he said to me, "Sis, you finally left that nigga." And I was like, "What?"
Wow.
He said, "Sis, you finally left that nigga." And I'm like, I was stuck for a second, and it took me a minute to comprehend what he was saying to me. He said, "People might say my brother was selfish, but nah, he knew that as long as he was here, you was never gonna leave him, and
Mm.
you would never have a life as long as he was here. So I believe that he took his life to save yours."
Mm. Would you, how did hearing that, because I'm certain, like you said, you had to take it in for a bit, and as the days passed and you started to digest pieces of that, um do you believe that you would have ever left?
Nah,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm.
no, because it was a vicious cycle. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? It was a vicious cycle. We might be good for 2 months, then back to the same thing. Then oh, I love you. Let's work it out. He go to rehab. He come back. It was just a vicious cycle. And the love that I had for him, it was pure. Like it was genuine. It was real. So it was like I knew the potential that he had,
Yeah.
so I felt like if I was his support system, eventually something would click in his head and he
Yeah.
would see himself through the eyes that I viewed him in and he would want better.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think I would have ever left. I
Yeah.
don't think I would have ever left. So when he said that to me, I stopped for a second and I really processed that and I said, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
You know what, you're right. And as the days went on, I started having conversations with my husband, and I'm like, "Yo, you did your big one with that.
Yeah.
Like, you did your
Mm-hmm.
big one with that. Can't nobody never say you ain't love me because you love me enough that you took your life,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I still was hard on myself because it was no note,
Mm.
it wasn't no explanation. So I thought, and let me tell you how God works. I'm going through the house. I'm like, it's no way he did this and did not leave a message. Like, God, what are you doing? New Year's Eve. Mind you, my birthday, my 30th birthday was Christmas Eve. He passed away December 13th, 2011.
Mm.
30th birthday, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. I'm struggling. I'm like, God, I can't start this new year off like this. I need to get out of this dark place, because being transparent, I struggle with depression.
Yeah.
I even attempted one time. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? So I can't travel back down that road again. I need you to give me some answers. I need to get out of this place. So when he passed, I had just brought him a new cell phone, but I refused to go through the phone and see anything. I didn't want to see no messages. I didn't want to see nothing. So I
Yeah.
factory resetted the phone and I gave it to my mother. The phone was 2 months old. When I say I factory reset it, I did it. Gave it to my mom. She called me New Year's Eve. She said, where you at? Toy. She said, Toy, where you at? She called me, my middle name was Latoya, so she called me
Okay.
Toy. She said, Toy, where you at? I said, I'm with Tasha and Michelle, we ready you to go over, to the house so they can clean it for me or whatever. She said, nah, I need you to come here. I said, oh God, why?
Mm.
She said, didn't you factory reset this phone? I sat here and I watched you, right? I said, yeah. She said, I'm going through everything. No numbers, there's no pictures, there's nothing, like this phone is empty, right? I said, yeah. She said, your niece was playing with the phone and she came across a recording that I
Oh
need you to
my
hear.
God.
I said, who? She said, and I'm like, Ma, if it's any BS, I don't want to hear it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't. She said, no, get over here. So now I get that phone, and it's him. You hear him arranging everything.
Oh my God.
You hear him arranging everything in the basement, and you hear him say, "Mommy, I'm sorry. Chanel, I'm sorry. But the life I was living didn't do me no good. I pray I don't go to hell." And you hear him on the recording setting himself up for this.
Oh my God.
And it was a wham. They said, be careful what you ask God for
Oh,
because you never know how he's going to answer. And when he answered that way, I was like, okay, this is you letting me know it was not your fault, Chanel. You don't have to carry this burden thinking that he took his life with, in his mind, saying, I'm taking my life because of Chanel. She's driving me to this. No, he did it because he was unhappy. You understand what I'm saying? He was unhappy with the way his life was going. You had no control. You can only control what you control. And ultimately, he has control over his own life. You didn't do that.
Jesus,
And I
Chanel.
said, Lord, I thank you.
I'm big on collateral beauty, and I have to look at things that way. The harshest of harsh tragedies, I have to be able to find where God shows up in that, and that's exactly what I hear with you saying that. But even with that being said, like with the release, it had to just take the wind out of you. I can't even find something to hear that.
It's it was like it took me a minute to compose myself. You know what I mean? And I kept playing it over and over again.
Mm.
And um I let his mom hear it. And she thanked me, for letting her hear it. And and she said to me, she said, Chanel, the day you married my son, you took a weight off of my shoulders.
Mm. Mm.
You took a weight off of my shoulder. Yeah. So in hearing that, I didn't care about what anybody else had to say. His mother knew
That's right.
what I was to her son. So anybody else's opinion did not matter.
Doesn't
So you
matter.
know what, Chanel? People may think you have to sit in grief for years and years and years. No, you know when enough is enough. I refuse to sit in my grief and become depressed.
That's
I
right.
still had a whole life to live.
Hmm.
So I decided when enough was enough. And of course, everybody had so much to say. Oh, I knew she was messing with him. That's why he did it. Oh, I knew that was the cause of it. Say what you want. Say what you want. I don't
Mm.
have to be sitting in my room in a dark room with tissues, listen to I'm not gonna cry, I'm going down. I don't have to do that.
That's right.
That's your impression of what grief should look like for
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
You don't tell me what grief should be like for me.
That's right.
I know what grief should be like for me. You know what I mean? And of course, at first, I felt guilty
Hmm.
about living.
Mm,
and wanting to be happy and wanting to be at peace. So,
mm.
and me feeling guilty and me thinking that I was ready, I kind of forced to prove a point to people. I am ready. You can say what you want to say about me. I'm ready. I got this. But I end up setting myself up for failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I ended up going back to the starting point because I felt like I had a point to prove to everybody else. I didn't.
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
didn't. I didn't have to prove anything to anybody but me.
And you were
You
only
know,
29 years old at the time. You know, my belief, what I've learned is, you know, our 20s are absolutely for learning. They're absolutely for learning. And some people get those nice, fuzzy, soft learning periods and lessons, but that don't exist over here. You know, we in our 20s burying people.
hmm
When 30 arrived, you know, you've buried your husband, you've had to confront your own mental health, you've seen him not be able to you know, face his mental health, his addiction. Going into your 30s, what did that how did that give me an idea of what that experience was like for you?
going into my 30s, it was that's when I entered motherhood.
Mm,
Um, so I thought so in my mind, how I thought my life was gonna be after his passing. God said, no
mm-hmm,
ma'am, not happening. So for a little while, I bought a house, I'm just doing the thing and I'm just enjoying life and
mm-hmm,
um, God grants you the desires of your heart. And I became a mother. So chapter 30 started motherhood
mm-hmm,
for me in a sense. So in my 30s, I'm still learning Chanel, but I thought I had it all figured out. You know what I mean? I had it all figured out, but I realized I didn't.
mm-hmm,
So I then wanted better for me and my child. So I went back to school. Um, that's when I received my bachelor's degree
mm-hmm.
in business administration and my minor in human resource
Go
management.
ahead, go ahead.
So yeah, so I went back to school, you know what I mean, and I was working at the sheriff's office still. But I'm like, okay, let's keep going on this path. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. So then I'm like, okay, now it's time to for a different career move. Let's do something different. But I still stayed within the sheriff's office, and then before long, I ended up with a promotion. So I'm like, okay, now
Mm-hmm.
this is where I'm supposed to be.
Mm.
No, ma'am, that ain't it either.
So let's talk 20. So how old were you in 2019?
In 29, girl, it's sad.
How
Sometimes I
old are
gotta
you
sit.
now? How old are you
Look,
now?
I gotta sit and do the math. Like, wait, how old am I? Okay, so all right, I turned
That's me. I'm like, am I turning 50 this
right.
year?
Like, how old am I? Wait, okay. So in 2019, I was 38.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I would yeah,
Okay.
when the BS happened. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So
With
actually it
mhm,
that started in 2018.
in 2018.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
So it was the when it started to unfold, that was 2019.
Well, it started to unfold in 2018.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it started to unfold in 2018 and it came full circle in
Right.
2019.
And you're
Yeah.
going along, like you said, you got your bachelor's, you have your beautiful daughter, you a homeowner, you have a promotion, and things on the outside appear to be like, okay, this is the way to go. Um, so let's go into that, you know, and you don't have to get into specific details at all.
Listen, let's get into it
Get
because
into
it's time to
look,
talk
look,
about
wait a
it.
minute, wait a
It's
minute.
time.
We're gonna look, we gonna
Listen,
there we go.
it's
Come on.
time to talk about it.
Let's go in there. Okay. So in 2019, things took a life altering turn for you. What can you share about that?
Everything.
Okay.
So,
The mic is on. The mic is yours, mama. And let me
so
issue, let me say this right now. Let me say this right now. Outside of a podcast, anyone that knows me knows I'm a stand in front of, beside, and behind the truth. So let's let that be known right now. Chanel is stuck with me in all the ways. All right? Let's go. That's right. That's right.
so when you brought up 10 years ago, like I said, that's when I was introduced in to this individual.
Mm-hmm.
So out the blue, I receive a phone call. You know, he act like he's calling my phone looking for my sister set slash best friend, and I'm like, no. But unbeknownst to me, he
Mm-hmm.
had an ulterior motive. He
Mm.
really was hitting my line. Mind you, he's calling me from prison. This is this codependent BS I'm talking about.
Girl, look,
So,
and here I go thinking I'm the author of that. That's what I thought. I authored codependency. Here we don't co-author, Chanel. Let me tell you, honey. Let me know when you want to interview me. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So he's in prison. He's calling me, and we start talking. Everything was cool. Like he was the homie. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Like he was cool, conversation good. Just me, unbeknownst to me, I'm still in a dark place. But
Mm-hmm.
Chanel thinks she's healed. Chanel thinks she's ready. She can handle anything. My husband done put me through hell and high waters. I could peep it from a
Of
distance.
course.
I got this.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister slash best friend kept saying, "Nah, sis, this ain't it." Now,
Mm.
mind you, this is her cousin. This is her cousin. She was like, "Nah, sis, this ain't it." She said, I know how he is, and I know how you is. Like, nah, me thinking I'm Chanel. You know, people, I got good energy. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I know what I bring to the table. So who wouldn't want me? Like, yes, I got it. Thank you, sis, but I got it. So needless to say, this is a jailhouse situation ship
Mm-hmm.
for about 4 years.
Wow.
For about 4 years, visits, phone calls, all of that. And what I can say, it wasn't one sided. It's not like Chanel was doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was given back to me too. So 4 years in. Um, like I said, I was there, hands down. So when it was time for him to be released, I'm waiting. You know how
Oh
you
shit.
you get ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you get ready. Like, oh, all
Yes. Yes,
right,
God.
you
Yes.
ready? Come home. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? That right there should have let me know something ain't right here. I'm me and my homegirl. We in the courtroom waiting. Mind you, I had it set up to where you know, like
Come on.
let's just say,
You coming
like,
with me? Like.
yeah, you know what I mean? Me and my homegirl, we in the courtroom. This ninja walk in the courtroom. I don't get no eye contact. It's like I'm not even there. So I'm like, wait a minute, somebody right here. I'm looking around the courtroom. Oh, okay, somebody over here looking like they in a disguise right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I got it. I see what's going on. Okay, but me still
Wow.
trying to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, thinking it's gonna be different. All right, I'm home, waiting for the phone to ring. Come pick me up. No phone call. Still waiting. No phone call. 2 days later, phone ring. Oh, can you come get me? You was out. You was already out. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? But now you want to call me, come get you. All right, cool. No problem. I come pick you up. Let's see what it's given because, he was, so he was, everybody loved him in Annapolis. He was the
Mm-hmm.
big man around town. So I thought, oh, if I can get a little piece of that, Chanel done did something.
There we
You know
go.
what I mean?
Yep.
But thinking that this was a trophy,
Mm-hmm.
forgetting that I was the trophy.
Mm-hmm. Come
He
on
should have
now.
been, he was blessed to have me in his life. So I'm thinking I'm doing something. So I go get him or whatever, and the energy was just off. But me still trying to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, and then things started to unfold, and I realized, okay, he's still the same person that he was before he went
Mm.
in all these years ago. How do you go away for all these years and you come back and you're still the same person?
Mm-hmm.
Considering everything that I had to lose, something got to give.
Mm-hmm.
So the relationship, I won't even call it a relationship, whatever we had going on, let's just say it fell by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
But me still caring for him, um, we would still communicate now and again. Well, this particular day in June, I received a phone call at work. Now, mind you, my title at the job was a human resources director,
Mm-hmm.
which means I helped with the hiring and I assisted in the firing. But also, in doing the hiring and the firing, I had access to look up whether or not people had warrants and things
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. Anybody can do that at the sheriff's office. If you call the sheriff's office today or tomorrow to ask them if you have a warrant, they can tell you.
Come on. Do you know how many times I've called about? Is there an eviction schedule for this address? Hold on. Let me tell you. On my own account. So
Exactly.
I know you're not lying with that. Anybody can.
Exactly.
That's right.
Anybody that works there. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not against the law. So this particular day, the dude that I was dealing with, his homeboy called.
Mm-hmm.
He said, hey, Nelly, I got your number from yo, and I was just calling to see if you could check to see if I got a warrant. So I'm like, oh God, what the hell you done did? He was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh no, nothing, just some traffic shit. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Check. No, you good. You don't have nothing. I said, but I'll keep periodic checks to
Mm-hmm.
see. He said, all right, cool. Well, one particular day, he called. I pull his name. Lo and behold, he got a warrant.
Okay.
So I'm looking and I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, you told me it was traffic. I said, no, this not what this is saying. It's saying this, this, and this, and this. Well, unbeknownst to me, this warrant was supposed to be sealed, which means Chanel shouldn't have never had access to it
Okay.
in the
Now.
first place. It shouldn't have never been released in the system in the first place because it was supposed to been sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, when Chanel gained access to it, me thinking it was okay to tell. So I
Mm-hmm.
let him know this is what your warrant was for. Okay, cool. Let him know. Well, again, unbeknownst to me, they had a phone tag on his phone.
Jeez.
He, in turn, giving my number, my information to any and everybody. Next thing you know, my phone ringing off the hook. Text messages, phone calls. And I got tired. So I played it off for a while and I'm like, oh, I'm waiting for this person. Or I don't know. Just so they could leave me
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like I done told y'all what it was. Y'all need to figure the rest of that out. I don't know nothing else. I can only tell you what I can tell you, but this is what
Mm-hmm.
it is. So about a week or two passed. I'm getting ready to go work the sheriff's election. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting dressed. Thank God my baby wasn't home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting dressed. I hear boom, 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 boom on my front door. So the first thought to my mind, I said, "Oh Lord, what my boy done did?" Meaning my son. What
Mm-hmm.
what my boy done did? They
Mm-hmm.
here beating on my door, mind you. I'm trying to hurry up, because clearly it's the police how they're knocking. I hurry up and get a towel, and I'm walking, going to the door naked. When I tell you they had the guns out, and I said, "Whoa, I think you at the wrong house."
Yeah. Gotta be.
He said, "Yeah." I'm like, "I think you at the wrong house." He was like, "Nah, you Miss Holland?" And I'm like, Yeah. He said, Chanel Holland? I'm like, yeah, we here for you. There's no way. It's no way. So I'm standing there, literally naked. I'm like, can I please get some clothes? No, 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 no. We
Oh,
have to wait.
stop.
When I tell you it was like 50 of them all over my house. They went through everything, the backyard, the basement, every bedroom, bathroom. They disrespected my house, my car, everything you could possibly think of. And I'm still standing there not knowing why. Finally, a female comes. She takes me upstairs. She allowed me to get clothes. I'm like, can I use the bathroom? Yeah, with me standing here. I'm still clueless. Like, what's going on? Like, why are y'all doing all of this? So then finally she said, I said, can I call my boss to let them know I'm gonna be running a little late here?
Right.
She like, oh no, they know. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool. So still don't know. We're riding down Crownsville. I see C.I.D. murder homicide. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
They take me in a room. They said, Miss Howard, we got a couple questions for you. Do you know these individuals? I said, no, I don't know them. I
Mm-hmm.
know of them, but no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know them. I don't have a personal relationship with them or anything like that. Well, we got your phone records and we see where you was communicating with these individuals. I said again, I know of them
Mm-hmm.
based off of somebody I used to deal with, but me having a personal relationship with them, no, I do not. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't, I don't know them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you anything. Well, Miss Holland, tell me about the day you received a phone call. And I broke it down to them.
Mm-hmm.
I received a phone call. They asked me if they had a warrant. Yeah, they had a warrant. I told them what it was. That's it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
What more you want me to say? Well, did you know that the warrant was a sealed indictment and this investigation been going on for X amount of years? Sir and ma'am, how am I supposed to know this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Please explain to me how this sealed indictment get released for little old Chanel to
Okay.
see. No, I didn't. Well, did you notice that something was strange? Something looked strange. Yeah, what do you mean? First of all, let's be clear. This system that this warrant was in was a totally new system. Nobody really knew how to work it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Everything looked different. So yeah, it looked different to me. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not my job to dissect it. I don't work in the prosecutor's office. You understand what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
don't
Right.
know the ins and outs. I don't know. So yeah, I'm ignorant when it comes to that aspect. No, I did
Mm-hmm.
not know. So I'm still thinking I'm just being questioned. They're like, no, no, you under arrest. These people was wanted, and because of you impeded the investigation. You gave them the heads up. You was the inside connect. You gave them the ability to get rid of the drugs and the guns and this and that. And you put all of law enforcement at risk by your actions. I'm like, what? Like, I still can't grasp this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not comprehending this. So they in turn tell me, yeah, we ready to take you to get booked and processed.
Jeez.
And I'm like, it's no way. This gotta be a joke.
And it had to
Call.
feel like you were, I know you had to be moving through like a slow motion fog to hear
Mhm,
book
mhm,
process,
mhm, mhm,
impeding,
mhm,
investigate. Like,
mhm, mhm. And I'm telling them, I'm like, me, Chanel, thinking you've been loyal, you've been this. Call my boss. He can tell you I had access to this system. I used my username and password that was assigned to me. I had legitimate access to the system. Call my boss. He can vouch for me. Dummy
mm,
me.
mm, 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 mm. And
Dummy me.
how long had this person been your boss at this point?
13 years.
Wow. Wow. I was afraid to ask that question. I knew it was some years in it. 13 years. And what happened with that?
13. So, and you know, because the way everything went down, Janelle, it was like I was watching somebody else's life play before me because there's no way it could have been mine.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm looking to somebody that I was supportive. Let's talk about it. He domestic violence. This
Mm-hmm.
man,
Mm.
I was supportive of him when he was
Mm-hmm.
going through. Me, when
Mm-hmm.
the whole office, the whole agency wanted to turn their back on this man. Me. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, he gotta have my back in this.
Mm-hmm.
Even going through his election, I'm putting in the time. I'm putting in the hours. I'm showing that I'm loyal. I'm showing up every time he need me to be. Him
Mm-hmm.
and his second in command. I know they're gonna show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know they are because I showed up for them, and I know that they're gonna do right because it's nothing that's gonna get them in trouble. I
That's
didn't do
right.
anything illegal, so of course they're gonna vouch for me. I go to Western District. Walk in there, the booking office. I know her. I worked with the county for 13 years. I know her. You know what I mean? Hey, what you doing here? At this time, I'm crying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just like all over the place. And she was
Mm.
like, what you I said, I don't I said, honestly, I don't know. Like I'm not, you know how people get locked up and they say I'm innocent. Like it honestly, like I now know how that feels. So she's like, just calm down. Let me go ahead and do what I need to do. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in the cell with the phone where I had open access. I could call whoever, however many times I needed to. Call three people. My daughter's dad,
Mm-hmm.
my sister slash best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and my other sister.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm on the phone and I said, I just bust out crying.
Mm.
I said, I'm locked up. They're like, what? What's going on? I said, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that they telling me it was this investigation and I released a secret indictment and it's just a mess. Like it's a lot going on. Like I'm locked up. I'm gonna have to call y'all. They're gonna be taking me to the commissioner. I don't know what's going on. Like I can't go to jail. Like there's no way. Like my baby. Like somebody got to get my daughter. Like what is going on here? They take me to the commissioner office. I'm sitting there in front of the commissioner. They said, oh well, Miss Holland, this is like a little out of the ordinary, but the state's attorney would like to be a part of this. I'm like, what? Yeah, the state's attorney would like to release a statement before we decide on whether or not, we're going to grant you bail or not. So I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
State's attorney basically called me everything but the child of
Oh
God.
my God.
Said that I was gang affiliated. I had ties to individuals that committed murder and sold drugs and did this and this, did that. And they fear that because I already put law enforcement lives at risk, that I may present another risk to citizens of Anne Arundel County. So as she talking, I'm like, who is she talking about? It's
Mm.
always she talking about me.
Mm.
Who is this person? So I'm like, it's no way they're gonna let me out. After everything that she's saying, you talking about murder and drugs and this and that. Like, it's no way these people gonna let me home. Commissioner said, "Oh, we're gonna release Miss Allen on her own recognizance." Okay, God.
Oh, girl.
Okay, God. All right, I see you. All right, I see how this going. It just gotta play out. But I know in the end, I'm gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Called my mom, and she came and picked me up, and we still trying to process all of this. So I'm like, I gotta get an attorney. You know what I mean? I get my phone. Well, they took my phone. They took my phone. They took my iPad. They everything, every electronic that I had. They took it. So it was no way that I could get in contact with my boss. So I'm like, somebody get in contact with the sheriff's office for me. They're like, nah, why? They don't have nothing to say to
Mm.
you.
What that feel
What?
like hearing that?
When I tell you, it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt because, like I said, whether I was tired, whether I was sick, whenever they needed me, I was there working overtime, did training. Like even the clerks that I work with, we developed a sisterhood, we developed a
Mm-hmm.
bond. So I just knew they was going to show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
They was going to be supportive of me because I showed up for them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? When, you had a son on trial for murder, I showed up for you.
Mm-hmm.
I showed up for you. So I know y'all gonna show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know my character. Y'all know what I would and would not do because y'all been a part of my life for 13 years. You saw the ins and the outs. You know the ups and the downs. Y'all know me. They gonna show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I, I hired my attorney. Money I didn't have, but I had to do what I had to do. Mind you, at this point, it's still state. I go see my attorney. He said, Miss Holland, I'm gonna charge you 5,500 for the state case. He said, but just to let you know, it's a federal investigation against these individuals too. And if this case goes federal, I'm gonna have to charge you $25,000.
Jesus.
So I'm like, there's no way. There's
Mm-hmm.
no way it's going federal. There's no way. Like this is bull. It's no way it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna go beyond this. It's no way. 3 days later, I get a phone call. You've been federally indicted. For what exactly? Please explain this to me. Obstruction of justice in a federal case.
Mm.
How? Well, because the feds and state agencies had these individuals under investigation, and you've leaked sealed information that you had access to. Because you leaked this information, you impeded the investigation, which caused all these years of hard work to fall by the wayside. So this is what we're going to tell you. You either plead guilty to obstruction of justice in a federal case, or we're going to figure out a way to indict you federally on some type of conspiracy charge in relation to these individuals.
Mm. Mm.
And I'm
Mm.
like, it's no way. It's no way. So I'm like, okay, these group of individuals, they big around the city. They put the city on. They look out for the hood. Like I'm a civilian. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have no ties to anything y'all have going on. So because y'all are well known and y'all look out for your community, they gonna show up. They
Mm-hmm.
gonna let them people know. They don't know me like that. They only called. They got the information, and this is how they receive my information from a third party. They
Mm-hmm.
gonna show up. They see my life falling to pieces. Oh, they good guys. They gonna show up. Everybody in that city, speak highly of them. So yeah, they're gonna show up for a civilian that don't have nothing to do with anything that they have going on. Hmm. Did they show up? Did they show up? They didn't give a damn what happened to me.
Mm. Mm.
They didn't
Mm.
care what happened to me. They didn't care what happened to my daughter. They didn't give up. They did not care what happened to me. And I'm like, it's no way these same individuals that everybody praised. Everybody praised them.
Mm-hmm.
It's no way they're gonna leave me out to dry and have these people thinking that I got ties or affiliation with anything that they have going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
told them, I said, y'all saying that they got all of this going on, they got all these drugs, they got all this money. Have y'all checked my bank account?
Good God.
Have y'all checked my have y'all checked my bank account? If I'm affiliated in all these hundreds of thousands of dollars and all these drugs and all this and this, have you checked my bank account? How do you connect the dots? Nobody had anything to say. But me still thinking, God showed up when it came to the bail. As I go through this process, he's going to show up again. So I had to go get booked and processed again
Mm.
with the Fed. They released me on my own recognizance again, thank God. So now shit is real. It's real. Like, it's real. You're dealing with the alphabet, the FBI. It is not a game. It's real. So I don't have $25,000 to spend for a lawyer. You understand what I'm saying? So when they told me basically you either plead guilty to this or we're gonna figure out a way and charge you with this, uh, I'll take obstruction of justice for
Yeah.
500, Alex. I'll take that. So I'm going through the process, and now it's time to get character letters and statements where all you have to tell about is the type of person Chanel is. That's it.
That they know you to be. That
That's
they
all you have
know
to
you
say.
to be. I don't care what this looks like, but what I know, that's what you expecting. What'd you get?
Out of all the women I worked with for 13 years in that office, not one, not one. Now, I get it. Y'all was a little scared. You was a little nervous. I get it because you don't know what to expect. I'm not asking you to put anything on the line. I'm not asking you to risk anything. You writing this letter for me is just you saying what type of person that you know Chanel to be. That's all I'm asking
That's right.
from you. And I've showed up for you several times, so I'm not asking for anything but just this. And you know that I would never ever put you in a situation to jeopardize anything that
Mm-hmm.
you have. So I know that they're gonna do this for me. Nope. Out of everybody I work with, he was my retire. He had recently retired my captain, and he wrote a letter for me.
Mm, 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 mm.
The only one. As the investigation's still going on, I'm like, okay. Once they speak to the sheriff's office and they tell them my job description, a lot of this is gonna get cleared up.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know what she is now. She wrote a letter and she lied, blatantly lied, saying that I was never ever supposed to have access to this system. Mind you, the system is called J Portal. J Portal is a system that we do a soft background check. I am the HR director.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say I was not supposed to have access?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But she has this high ranking position in the office. So, yeah, they're going to take her word. They're not going to listen to a little civilian. They're going to take a sworn officer word. Of course they are. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. They took her word. They took her word. And I went to court and I'm standing there and the judge is reading the letter that she wrote. And I'm looking at my attorney like, all of this is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, God, I love her. She was the most supportive and understanding person. You would have thought we had a relationship
Mm.
outside of the attorney client. She showed up for me in ways that people that I've known for 10, 15, 20 years didn't. And she was free. It wasn't like she was paid.
Yeah.
I didn't pay her. She was court appointed. So what she could have carried it like, okay, whatever's gonna happen, but she
Mm-hmm.
fought for me. You
Cause
understand what I'm
that's
saying?
that divine intervention, man. That
You
divine
understand what I'm
intervention.
saying? She fought for me. But before I actually went to court, and I went and I got rearrested with the feds and all of that, I'm sitting at home. Now, mind you, I was still in contact with a couple people from the sheriff's office. Now, and once I had a discussion with them, I understood their logic. That's just their own. I can't dispute
Mm-hmm.
your personal. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that they thought I did this, but because they were afraid. And fear causes you to not stand on things sometimes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? You know how the big saying is standing on business?
Mm-hmm.
Fear causes some people to not stand on business. So I
Mm-hmm.
get that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I can't expect a me from somebody else.
That's right.
So she started telling me about this church, which was like a mile up the street from my house. She said, I know, you're going through it. Just go there. The little church, sit on the corner on Crane Highway. Go ahead and try it out. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
One particular Sunday, I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. You know, good angel, bad angel. They on the shoulders. I wake up. I'm like, okay, what we doing, Chanel? That enemy said, what you look like going into a church to
Mm.
praise a God that allowed you to get in this situation? Is you stupid? And I'm sitting there on the bed and I'm like crying. I'm really going through it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Why would I do this? Like, oh, why? I'm a good person. Why are you allowing this to happen to me? I don't get it. But now let's not forget the God that you serve. Don't allow this negativity to enter and taint your thoughts and your feelings and your mind for what you know.
All
You
right
know
now.
what you know. Look how many times he showed up for you. You know what you know. You better get your butt in the house of God and go and get your blessing because that's where
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to talk to nobody else but him.
All
Can't
right.
nobody else save you in this situation but him. You've seen it for yourself. Mind you, I don't know nobody in this church. Never been. I walk in the door. The apostle. Everything was just coming in a line. Mind you, I've never met her a day in my life. She don't know me from Adam. And this was before like it really started hitting the news. So it's not like my story was well known.
Yeah.
So she says to me, she said, can I give you a word? I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but
Mm.
okay.
Right. Right. As you should though. It's like, look, I got a lot going on. Look,
Right,
I don't need nothing extra.
right. So she like, can I give you a word? I'm like, sure. She said, God sent you to me this morning.
Mm.
I said, huh? She said, yeah, you was wrestling with some things. God brought you to me this morning. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're dealing with, but I'm letting you know that God is in the midst of it. And it's not nothing that you've done. I don't know what you're going through, but what you're going through right now, you didn't do anything. God allowed this to happen so he can show up. And
Girl.
in my mind, in my mind, I'm saying, do you really know what I'm going through? There's no way God is allowing me to go through what? No, no, it's no. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
No. So she was like, he's in the midst of this. It's all right. You're gonna be all right. So when she said that, my all right is you're gonna be exonerated.
Mm.
That's my all right.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going to prison. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna lose anything. You're gonna come out okay. So I'm going through the process. And she says later on, about a couple months go by, and she wanted to give me another word. And she said, this was the tough. This was when the realization hit me that Chanel, what you think the outcome is gonna be, is
Mm.
not what it's actually gonna be. She said, you like Daniel in the lion's den.
Girl, don't you make me get up off.
And I stood there for a second, and I'm remembering Daniel's story now, and I'm like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. She said, you like Daniel in the lion's den. She said, God needs you to go some places that only you can go. And I'm saying, God, you sending me to prison.
Mm.
You sending me to prison. How am I going to navigate this? How? Me still not fully processing or accepting it. Go to court, April 9th, 2019. The judge says to me, yeah, now, my loved ones, wrote letters and everything. And he's reading through the letters. When I'm looking back at them like, okay, y'all showed up.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Okay, yes,
you.
I appreciate y'all. Like,
Yes.
this is going to help. You know what I mean? The judge read the letters. He said, reading these letters, you would think that you was an amazing person. But the reality is, you are a menace. You put the lives of several law enforcement officers at risk. And yeah, although I understand you got this accolade and you got this going for yourself and this and that and this and that, I can't let you go free. I'm sending you to prison. So I'm like, okay. He said, yeah, a year and a day.
Mm.
A year and a day. So I'm thinking like, oh my God, what the heck am I going to do? He said, but I'm going to give you 90 days to get your affairs in order. And on that 90th day, you are to self surrender to Alderson Federal Prison, which is located in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Now,
Mm.
survival mode. It's no more time for tears, Chanel. This is what you got to do. This is the path you're going to have to walk. Whether you like it or not, it's time to buckle up and get it together. So I had 90 days to figure some things out. And the biggest thing for me was my daughter and my home. In 90 days, when I tell you I busted my butt to make sure my bills was paid and
Mm-hmm.
financially my daughter was taken care of in my absence. I did that. So people could say whatever they want about me. Yeah, physically I was removed from my child, but I still provided for her.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And the sad reality is that in one of the darkest times of my life, my motherhood was questioned.
Mm.
My motherhood was questioned. Anybody that knows me know my daughter was the truest desire of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what you say, or you say. I do right by her.
Mm-hmm.
I do right by her. Yeah, somebody had to physically care for her. And I will say this until I leave this earth, I will never ever take that away from her. She did what she set out to do. I made her my daughter's godmother for a reason. And if I
Mm-hmm.
had to do it all over again, she would still be my
Mm.
first choice.
Mm.
She did what she was supposed to do as a godmother, because the reality is people don't understand what godmother
That's
means.
right. Come
It
on
don't
now.
mean that you're gonna buy materialistic things. It
Mm-hmm.
means that you're gonna stand up when the mother is
That's
unable
right. You
to.
got to stand in
You
that gap for me. I have to
you
trust that you can
understand what I'm
stand in that
saying?
gap.
Exactly. So I applaud her and I thank her for that, and I'm forever grateful. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? That right there was big. Carrying for somebody else's child.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was tough. But don't take away from me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Don't take away from me.
that's right.
I still provided financially for my girl. I
Yeah.
still did right by my daughter as much as I could, considering the situation that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And I tried to keep her protected as much as I could because everybody feels as though they know what you should do. They
Mm-hmm.
know what's best for you and yours. But when a child hears prison, jail, police, everything that comes to mind is negative.
That's right.
Everything that comes to mind is negative. And what
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to do is have my 6 year old, she was 6 at the time, I refuse to have my 6 year old worry about adult issues.
Mm-hmm.
I refused. So I told her mother was going away to school. Her mother was
Mm-hmm.
going away to college to better herself because the reality is it was a learning experience.
Come on, Chanel.
It
Come
was a
on.
learning experience for me. So yeah, did I tell a white lie? Absolutely.
That's
I
right.
did to protect my daughter's feelings at the time. So if people say that I should have told her then, no, I shouldn't have. She was
Mm-mm.
6. She shouldn't have been worrying about whether her mother was going to get in fights in prison.
That's
She
right.
shouldn't have been worried about that. People felt as though I should have been calling home. Why? So I can be on the phone with my daughter and they tell us that we got 15 seconds left and she's wondering why?
Come on,
Why
Chanel.
should I put her through that?
That's
No,
right.
I shouldn't. I did what I felt as it was right for me and mine at the time. So people can say whatever they want.
That's
But
right.
I felt as though I did what was right for her. And when the time
Fucking
was right,
right.
you
And let me
understand what I'm
just let me
saying?
say this. Let me add this, Chanel. Like I said, fucking right. I believe one of the disservices that we do our babies to this day is they know they're exposed to too much. And coming up, our parents didn't necessarily have all of the tools and the gumption to do things as well. But when it came to I'm gonna protect you from this, I believe they did the best that they absolutely could.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
as mothers, period, as parents, but I ain't no dad, I can't speak for no fathers.
Right.
As a mother, the way on the day to day we question
Hmm.
ourselves and try to show up and make sure we got just a little bit left for them, I take my hat off to you. Not that you need no affirmation or nobody saying you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. So I just wanted to add that. God now.
Yeah. And it was just crazy. Like, I I wouldn't call home, and if I did, I kept it really, really brief. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I refused to allow anybody to come see me because
Mm.
I don't. Number one, it was 4 hours away. That's number one. Number two, y'all leaving. It's like you leaving me all over on that day that I self surrendered. I'm not going through that. I'm not putting myself through that again. So I would do Skype visits with my daughter twice a week. You understand what I'm saying? So all she see was a white wall,
Yeah.
and she thinking I'm in school. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I would write her letters. I would send words for her to study. I would send math problems home. Like I tried to do the best that I could
Mm-hmm.
considering the situation. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So it was crazy. It was tough. It was tough. It was tough. And somebody had the nerve to call me selfish while I was going through that situation. They called me selfish. How? I'm a lot of things. I'm a lot of things.
Yeah,
At times
selfish
I
is
wish I
definitely
was.
not a word that I just even from when we started this conversation. The words that have just been repeated in my head are selfless and loyal, selfless and loyal, even to the point where it created detriment in your own life. Selfless and loyal. And before I forget, because I'm old, I don't know if you plan on writing a book, but I suggest you do. I got a title for you, girl, on my personal recognizance: self surrender. I'm telling you, those
Ooh.
the you just have, and we can talk more about that later. But the lesson of self surrender, the way that
Mm,
moment with that they thought was going to take you up off your square, that little dot
mm,
of dust that was going to take you, and the way that it has just and
mm, mm,
no matter what the court said, no matter what public opinion had to say, no matter what so-called friends, people who don't look like family anymore, no matter what they had to say, in each of these processes, it required you to really self-surrender.
wow. Let me tell you, confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. Because I had to realize in that situation, it's nothing that I can do.
Mm,
I'm in prison. My daughter is out on the street. So I have no control at all over anything that's happening
Mm,
out there. None. So I had to self surrender my entire life to someone else. I had no control over anything.
mm-hmm,
And it was a lot. It was a lot. And it was crazy because, I thought that certain relationships would have been brought closer.
mm,
But the reality is that several relationships were severed.
mm, mm. And was this while
And
you were going through the year or after you came home?
a combination of both. It
Mm-hmm.
started while I was going through. You notice people start acting weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why. But then when I noticed, like, wait a minute, y'all didn't used to talk before I came in here.
Girl.
Now all of a sudden y'all like this. What's really going on here?
Mm,
Okay, make it make sense to me. Because
mm-hmm,
I ain't
mm-hmm.
understand it because it was all of this before Chanel got a year and a day. Now all of a sudden Chanel got a year and a day, y'all got so much to say about Chanel.
Okay, now.
And here's the thing. I'm always transparent. I'm always open to having those tough talks.
Mm-hmm.
So if I genuinely love you and I genuinely care for you and the relationship mattered to me, I'm gonna reach out to try and figure out like what happened.
Yeah,
You
yes.
know, with the hopes that they view me the same way I viewed them. And that was a tough lesson that
Yeah.
I care more about them than they did about me. It was easy for them to allow the relationship in me to fall by the wayside, which
Mm-hmm.
means I was disposable to them.
Mm-hmm.
I was disposable to them. But then God let me know, Chanel, I don't need you to be dependent on man. I don't want nobody to show up for you.
Come on.
I need to show up for you to
You better
let
say
them
it.
know who I am. Who I am. I need to prove a point. So you sit back, you let the relationships because I'm stepping in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? You absolutely right. You absolutely right. So while I'm trying to, right before I went in and I'm trying to figure out, what are you doing with your life? When I lost my job, in the midst of going through the court system, I always loved to cook. You know what I mean?
There we
I
go.
always, I always loved to cook. So I'm like, okay, I got my little welfare check. I cashed out my little retirement from the county. At first, they was like, oh, we can put it into another retirement. I don't want anything attached to y'all. No,
Run me
run
my
me my
money.
money.
Run me
Run
my
me my
money.
money. Let me get that up all for y'all.
Right.
So I got my little welfare check from them.
There you go.
So let me back up some. So this was before I fully accepted that I was going away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, Chanel, you got this money. You have to set a foundation for your child. So I got the vision and the idea to start Perfect Little Princess, which was a day spa for little girls.
Wow.
Yeah, I opened this up. I put money into it. Decorated it, all of this. So in my mind, God, I'm setting the foundation. So you ain't gonna let this foundation crumble because this all I have, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna let this grow. You're not gonna send me away because I gotta be home to let this grow and be what I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the midst of me doing that, a taste of love came to be.
Okay.
So while I'm putting, Perfect Little Princess together, I'm at my mother's one day and I called them the backyardigans. My mother, she lived in the community for 4 years. So everybody knows Mama Girlie.
Mm-hmm.
So summertime, everybody wanna hang out, her house, like it's just cool, calm, laid back. So this one particular day, the backyardigans was out back and they was like, Nelly, you know what you should do? You should go ahead and go get some breakfast stuff and cook us some breakfast. We'll pay you for it. I said, oh, all right, say less. Go to the store. Nelly, you know what you should do? You should go get some stuff for lunch and dinner. We'll pay you for it. Oh, well, I ain't say less.
Mhm.
So that turned into an everyday thing.
Wow.
That turned into an everyday thing. So while I'm thinking that perfect little princess is where I'm supposed to be,
Mm.
God is redefining my journey and arranging my footsteps like, maybe later, but right now, this is where I need you to be. So that's when A Taste of Love started. Um, During that time, from a simple request from my backyard against to fix some breakfast, turned into a full-fledged business.
And when did you realize, like, okay, wait a minute, this is like really a thing? This is not just me. This is not a hustle. Like, I'm creating a legacy with this. When did it, or has it hit you yet?
So I think it first started hitting. So, like I said, those 90 days from sun up to sundown, I barely slept. I was in that kitchen. I was the late night spot. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You hungry? Come on,
Come
come
on.
hit my phone. I'm available at this time. I was staying at my mother's because it was more convenient for me.
Hmm.
So call my phone. I'm right here. Come on over. I got you. Sun up to sundown. I'm doing it. Like I said, I saved the money to make sure I still had a home to come home to. I
Hmm.
wanted to keep that stable for my daughter at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm thinking while I go and do this year and a day, A Taste of Love is gonna fall by the wayside.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to get it back to where I need it to be in my absence. Lo and behold, while I was gone, my mama,
Mm.
my mama, and my cousin slash brother was in that kitchen,
Come on now.
refusing to allow A Taste of Love to be a has been. They put in that work from sun up to sundown for 10 months
Wow.
while I was away. My mother, because before I left, my mother oh, had got in a situation and, she needed a vehicle. So I helped her get a vehicle. And
Hmm.
she told me, she said, I refuse to allow you to come home to nothing.
Jesus.
I refuse to allow you to come home to nothing. Whether her body was hurting, whether she was tired, my mother and my cousin was in that kitchen from sun up to sundown to make sure I had a little nest egg when I came home.
Girl.
That's when I realized A Taste of Love is destined for great things. That's when the realization hit me.
And Chanel, as it started to go beyond the neighborhood and spread. So let me hold on, wait a minute. Because the first time I got a taste of, girl, when I tell you the Negro said all the way in fast, had, put this pan, we're not putting all that out. The seafood salad, the chicken wings. Look, let me tell you, when I told my son I was interviewing you, he was like, yo, we need some more of them wings. How many years has it been? It's been
It
like three
has,
years. Chanel, it was,
yeah.
and I said that I vow on that day. I said, I don't care any cookouts, any get whatever I do, I will not touch another pan because I know I throw down, but good God have mercy. I ain't ever touching anything that I do. Hey, wait a minute, look, how do we formally do this? Let me fill out the form. You shut it down. People was in the girl, they was writing plates up before the event was over with. Like, that's how it went down.
Right, right.
So as it started to become bigger than the neighborhood and bigger than your surrounding areas, when you started to get requests from organizations and government agencies, what did that feel like?
Listen, listen. When I received the first phone call from the Black Caucus,
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Mm.
oh, you done made it. You done made it. Your people want you. Your people want you. You
Yes,
understand what I'm
indeed.
saying? And then it became every event. They wanted me.
Mm-hmm.
It still didn't really resonate with me.
Yeah.
I've been doing this. It will be 6 years this year.
Mm. Mm.
When it hit me, this is no lie. This month,
Mm.
this month is when it hit me, and I'm gonna tell you why. I received an email from the county exec's office.
Mm.
They having a Black History event. They want a taste of love because a taste of love was referred from the Banneker Douglas Museum. Okay, cool. I accepted it. We went through the motions. I'm standing there doing the event. The county exec comes, greets me, give me my accolades, all of that. I'm riding home in my car, and God said, "You see that?" And I said, "What's that?" He said, "The very county that wanted to destroy you."
I'm gone. I'm
The,
gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. Come on. Come on with it. Come on
the
with it.
very county that wanted to destroy you is now seeking you. Look how I can turn things around for you. Huh? Didn't I tell you I will prepare a table in front of your enemies? Don't you let the naysayers deter you from your journey. I got you. When I
Mm.
said I got you, I meant that. I'm in the midst of everything. So when you feel as though your bills outweigh your bank account, I got you. Stay the course. Stay the course. That right there lets me know, Chanel, you on the right path. This ain't a hobby. This is my passion. And I put my all into it. So regardless of what the news may say,
Mm.
regardless of what the headlines may say, God know my heart. You
That's right.
understand what I'm saying? God is favoring me. And before that, I didn't feel as though I deserved it.
Mm.
So whenever people would come to me and get a quote, I dummied my own
Mm.
self down because in my mind, you a convicted felon. You ain't legit for real, for
Mm.
real. You ain't got all these years. You don't have all these big events under your belt. Is you stupid girl?
Come on
You
now.
better walk high.
Come on
You and
now.
she has arrived.
Come
You
on.
deserve this, Chanel. You deserve this. Stop settling yourself short. Stop that. You know, and I felt like because God was so good to me, I had to be a blessing to others. So that's why I would, okay, you ain't got it. Okay, cool. I still do it. Oh, you don't have the full, okay, that's cool. But then when I realized people started taking advantage of
Come
that,
on.
they started taking advantage of that. Oh, let's go to Chanel because she's not going to charge us what everybody else is going to charge because we know her.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-uh. The same money you would pay the others, oh, y'all going to pay me
That's
because guess
right.
what? I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. I give high quality every single time. So Chanel, stop selling yourself short.
Damn right.
You deserve this. I've
Absolutely.
been
Your
humbled.
professionalism, whenever you share when you're doing events, like the detail, the it is love. So much of you, I mean, just talking to you and getting and really getting to know more about you, Chanel, it just the parallel, it all comes through with the it's love in that food. It don't feel like I've seen people, get events catered and everything, and the pans had. I'm like, who did, girl? What you had your aunt and them make this? Ain't no way you done paid somebody to put this up in like this. Like what? Like when I'm looking, girl, when I was looking at the caucus event pictures and girl, the egg on the spoon, and I'm like, and it just makes those things, and it people enter a space and it just feels so
Mhm,
like
mhm,
you
mhm.
absolutely feel the love. And one of my things that I absolutely believe that you just continue to confirm that for me. Always wait until you see why. Always wait until you see why. I can't imagine from the morning that the sheriff, well, let's go back, from the experience with your husband and all of the events that led up to that moment. And then to come through that and feel like, what, I'm in alignment. And then to be sucker punched with, I'm just getting ready for work. And then here comes the sheriff's office, and then this agency that you've just shown up and just been loyal. And look, I done got promoted. I must be doing something right. You know what I mean? To have those individuals turn their backs when you were there when they needed you most, from family to friends to, okay, look, I'm gonna start this way. And then to have people just, what you should do? You know what, girl, won't you? And we'll pay you. And we'll pay you. When I saw your video a few weeks ago after you had finished an event, and I reposted on my page, when I tell you I felt every, girl, the compassion, every shake in your voice, the vibration. And when you were like, I'm going to do good. I'm going to do good. That, when you're a decent person and you just find yourself in situations that ain't so decent, because we're so self-critical, and the only thing that we want to do is be good. Like, it rushed me. It did. And if I could have jumped my big ass through the video to squeeze you in that moment and to just hold your face and say, you are good. You are good. You are amazing. You take my breath away. You absolutely take my breath away. Your fight, your fire, your resilience. Just, I don't know how often you hear how amazing you are, but you are fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. And with all that fire, that gentleness, the softness, girl, you the total package. And don't you ever, like, I know we ain't got to worry about it, you know what I mean? But that volume gets low sometimes. And I want you to hear this. You are the fucking bomb. You just are, man. Like,
Thank you.
girl, look, I knew this was gonna occur.
I know, right?
I knew it was gonna occur.
We said that.
We said it. But it's just, especially when truth shows up in the space, like, you can say what you want about me, but this is me. Like it, love it, hate it. I bet you go to sleep with peace of mind every night. I bet you do.
Yep. And it's crazy because for so long I try to transform into what others thought I should be. You know what I mean? Everybody has their opinion. Of course, yeah, I've been married, but everybody, those that really haven't been through no ish
Come
saying,
on.
oh, you should do this. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, you need to do this. Listen. What works for you might not necessarily work for me. And I'm a firm believer, and I tell my sisters this all the time. What you put up with, I may not put up with, and vice versa.
There you
So
go.
what may work for you may not necessarily work for me.
That's
But don't
right.
try to align my journey with yours.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? And even when it comes to my personal relationships, of course, everybody has their opinion. Don't worry about me.
That's
Don't
right.
worry about me. I'm taking care of me. I got me. I'm gonna figure this thing out. I don't care if I gotta deal with 50 individuals before I find the one.
Come on
I'm
now.
gonna figure this out.
That's
You understand what I'm saying? So don't tell me what my life should look like to you.
right.
I'm gonna show you what my life is gonna be like to me.
There you go.
You understand?
And
You
people are
understand?
quick. People are so quick. And sometimes, they don't mean any harm. I think most times they do, because it's
Mm-hmm.
fear speaking. Their own, the things that they haven't resolved in themselves, the things that they question with themselves. Don't deflect that. I got enough that I have to channel through and chop through and
Exactly.
figure out. Don't send that over here. If I done
Mm-hmm.
made it all these years, whether I done fallen and gotten back up,
Mm-hmm.
whether I done stayed down longer than I'm going to get back up. I know how
Exactly.
to get to okay. How about you
Mm-hmm.
just cheer me on?
Exactly. That's it.
Just do that. Or not, but leave me alone.
Leave me alone. And
Yes.
that's another thing. Even when it comes to a taste of love, when I tell you I am the biggest supporter of those that I love, I'm
Hmm.
gonna root for you. You understand what I'm saying? If you doing your thing, I'm cheering you on. If you going through sadness, I'm crying with you. Whatever you need from me at that moment, I'm gonna be there for you. And to see that others wasn't that to me
That's right.
had me reevaluating a lot. And I'm not talking about money. People don't understand a simple share. A simple share. How do you
Hmm.
share things from people you don't know?
Come on, Chanel.
Whether it's a meme or a video or
Hmm.
some nonsense of somebody that you don't have a personal relationship with.
Hmm.
You quick to share that. But somebody that you know that's supposed to be a part of your tribe
Come on.
on
Come on.
your team that showed up for you, they have something positive going on,
Hmm.
and it kills you to share that.
That's right.
Why? Why?
That's the biggest question. It's, and I always tell people it's principle for me, because you could choose to move this way, you could choose to move that way, and you chose that way. A simple
Mm-hmm.
share. I've had people say to me, "Oh, well, I don't know if my friends are into what you're doing." It don't make a
It doesn't matter.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your girl, and you
Mm-hmm.
know me. You know
Mm-hmm.
me. Hit the share. Somebody in
Mm-hmm.
that list might be like, "Oh, okay, you helping me put money in my pocket." But
Exactly.
then the other thing, we have to hear ourselves sometimes. You know me. You know me. And any
Mm-hmm.
opportunity that comes my way, I'm going to ride that thing until the wheels fall off. I'm going to do it. You ain't done reached that for yourself yet.
Mm-hmm.
I understand your capacity. That's cool. Because the
Right.
word will get out anyway. But it
Exactly.
does. It makes you feel some type of way. It really does.
Yes. Yes. And that's another, I know sometimes God be like, oh, Lord, here she come again. Because I had my best conversations with him when I'm in the shower.
Yes.
So I had to go to him about that. Like, God, this hurts. My family is huge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My family is huge. My mother, she has 8 sisters and
Mm.
3 brothers. So you can only imagine how many cousins I have,
Mm-hmm.
from just them. But my biggest supporters are strangers.
Yep.
My biggest supporters are strangers. But guess what? When I had that conversation with God, because I didn't understand, I was like, why is my family acting like this? It's like they liked me when I was in the dark place, in the sunken place, as the people call it. But
Mm-hmm.
now that the light is shining and it's illuminating on me, they want to dim my light. Why
Mm-hmm.
is that? And God said, because I don't want to give nobody the opportunity to say, you did this because of them.
Come on now.
You got this because of them.
That's
You
right.
don't need them to do that, because guess what, Chanel? I'm making a way. I'm opening doors that you never thought would be open for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you just stayed the course. I got you.
That's
Those
right.
that's supposed to be there, they still there. They ain't going nowhere,
There you
even
go.
though it might be a handful. But a handful is mighty when you put them all together.
That's it,
So
man.
I take that. I take that. I take that handful. You understand what I'm saying? Because I used to be stuck on, I've known this person for X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
Longevity versus loyalty. In 2024, I take loyalty over longevity
There you
all
go.
day, every day. You
That's
can
right.
keep that. I've known you for 10, 15, 20 years. You can keep that. I'll take loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at now. That's where I'm at now. Because I know I'm a loyal person. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
ride or die. I will go, my man, you got issues with your family. What's up? What
Come
we
on.
doing? What we need
That's
to do?
it. That's
Huh?
it. Yep.
What we need to
Yep.
do?
Yep. Yep.
Like,
Hey.
because if you a part of my tribe, a part of my circle, I'm riding for you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
rocking with you. So I
Mm-hmm.
expect the same in return. And if you can't, oh, all right. It was just a temporary stay. You ain't
That's
meant to
it.
be here long term,
That's right.
so
That's
I'm
right.
accepting that.
I see
I'm
your
accepting that.
capacity, and it's cool. And you see mine
Mm-hmm.
too. Hope it's
Mm-hmm.
cool for you as well.
Exactly.
Yep. Chanel, and I say this to people, Lord knows. And I know you will know exactly how I mean it. I am so glad that you are here. Oh, I'm so glad that you are here.
Thank you.
You are exactly what we need to see as women. We have to see others use their voices, tell their truths, give their perspectives, and feed us good in all the ways. And girl, I mean, look, I'm stuck on the seafood salad and stuff, but you feed us. You got good food. You got good bread coming out of you, mama. You really do.
Mhm.
You really do. And so before we wrap, like I don't look, I don't even want to wrap.
Yeah, I know, right?
Before we wrap, like talk to me. What is next for Taste of Love? Where are we going with it? Or what is next for Chanel?
So, I'm still figuring life out.
Yeah.
Um, right now I'm focusing on my mental health. Because for
Hmm.
so many years, I've been pouring into people and I've been drained. So I made a vow. 2024, it's not selfish putting yourself
Girl,
first.
come on. Come on.
I'm not
Mm-mm.
obligated to take care of or do for anyone but me and mine.
That's
So
right.
I don't have to feel guilty by saying no.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I started to reevaluate and take the love from day one to now.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized the mistakes that I made along the way
Mm-hmm.
because if somebody was in need and I emptied myself into them and whatever financial, they may need at that time, I did that, which has stagnated me in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? But then I had to remember you had to go through that too. That was a learning process.
That's right.
You can't keep pouring into other people's cup, allowing yours to be emptied, and you trying to figure out how to refill your own. Nah, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it's supposed to work. So I don't feel guilty about not being available to
Good.
everybody now. I don't feel guilty about that. So in me working on that, I'm able to have a clearer mind and
Mm-hmm.
remain focused on my goals and my agenda. And the sad reality is that I can't always share everything because people generally aren't happy for me.
That's right.
But make that make sense.
Yep.
I wasn't given a handout. I
Mm-hmm.
got it out the mud. My mama kitchen. Why wouldn't you wanna cheer me on?
That's right.
So, with a taste of love, I'm just staying the course.
Good.
I'm just staying the course and I just told God just continue to guide my footsteps. And where he sees
Mm-hmm.
a taste of love. Where
That's right.
he sees. Because he's in the midst of all of this. This ain't Chanel,
Mm-hmm.
this him.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing this, but he's making sure that I'm together first. Because he
Mm-hmm.
needs to make sure I can handle the little before he bless me with the grand.
There you go. And I love how
So
you are. I love how you have prioritized your mental health because, again, that is something that we just don't do as women. We don't do it. We will stay in motion. We'll stay in motion as long as we're moving and we got the opportunities. It's like, okay, okay. And then we start to feel a little more tired than usual or
mhm, mhm.
scatterbrained or, oh, I'm forgetting things. And we don't realize, hold up, you got to pump the brakes.
Yep.
It's not going anywhere. I got you. I gave you a
Mhm.
taste of it. Go on, get in it. Get into
Exactly,
that because I
exactly.
want you to know what the space looks like. It's been prepared for you, but I need you
Mhm.
okay in that space. And
Absolutely,
people see, they
absolutely.
think that because we show up with smiles and we're doing things that all of the things that we've survived just disappeared. No, we got
No,
residuals that we have to go through
absolutely.
every single
Yes.
day to
Yes.
clean off every single day. So I'm
Mhm.
so glad to hear that you are prioritizing that in 2024. You got damn right.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right. But listen. Let's not get in this without you receiving your flowers,
Oh
Queen.
Lord.
When I tell you, I could be having the worst day ever. I'm guaranteed to go on your page and get a laugh, a smile, an encouraging word. Listen, every now and again, a good read, baby. When that fire has been lit, hold on.
Yes. Yes.
So I thank you. I thank you. Good energy matches good energy. And
Come
what a
on.
great explosion this
Mhm.
has been. And so I thank you for this opportunity, for allowing me a safe place
Mm.
that I can be as transparent as possible. And you have helped to release a weight that has been heavy on my shoulders. So I
Mm.
thank you. And I love you for this. Thank you.
Chanel,
Thank you.
I
Don't you
love
stop.
you. Let me tell you, when I say you stuck with me, you are stuck with me. You are stuck with me. I am the gratitude. I have no words for it. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. Like I said, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you decided to join me on this platform. I'm just so glad that you decided to make some time for me on a Saturday. Girl, you could be on your side or getting ready for. You know what I mean? You could be, but the
Right.
fact that you here, and just the like, I knew it. I said when I told you, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, when I was like, I don't have any questions. I don't. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, let's, for structure, let me find. I ain't had to touch. Look, we went through our funny questions and or even just the way that you shared your story. I'm like, iPad died. Do
Right.
your thing.
Right.
I am so proud of you. I
Thank
adore
you.
you. I'm so glad to know you. Look, we got to do dinner or something. Not one that you
Yes.
cook, you know what I mean? Not one that you
Okay.
cook. We got to do that.
Yes.
But we locked in. I'm so excited. You keep me posted on things to come. However, I can
Absolutely.
share, help you promote. If I need to, if you see me connected to somebody and you're like, Janelle, I need to be connected in that space. You
Absolutely.
have my word, sister. I got you.
All right. Thank
I
you so
love
much.
you so much,
I love you
sister.
more.
Enjoy your day. And then what
You
I'll
too.
do, hold on, let me end the recording.